You've finished the series, but the questions won't stop spinning. What was Naomi? What did Morraine really see in her test? And why does the creator stay silent when everything is falling apart? The Wheel of Time gave us prophecies, heroes, and an epic ending. But it also left behind riddles that still haunt the fandom. These aren't plot holes. They're mysteries that might never be solved. Let's dive into the biggest questions that Robert Jordan left behind and why those gaps might be more powerful than any answer. Who or what was Naomi? Perhaps the single most mysterious character in the entire Wheel of Time series is Naomi, the enigmatic woman who appears briefly to Aviendha in Towers of Midnight and then again, with even less explanation, near Rand after the last battle. She offers insight, questions, and strange truths. And then she disappears. Naomi's existence breaks the rules of the Wheel of Time in a way no other character does. She knows things she shouldn't. She appears in places others can't. She seems IL, but isn't quite. Some fans speculate she is a remnant of a hero of the Horn, a projection of the pattern itself, or even the creator or a stand-in for Jordan's authorial voice. Others link her to the mysterious figure of the Gen Il, those who kept the Covenant when everyone else turned away. But the books never explain her. And Brandon Sanderson has only teased that Naomi was added with Jordan's blessing, hinting that her purpose was thematic, not literal. This lack of resolution isn't a flaw, it's deliberate. Naomi arrives when Aviendha is at a crossroads, questioning the future of her people. She does the same with Rand in his final moments, serving as a reminder that not all knowledge belongs in mortal hands. Her presence is like a ripple in the pattern, unexplained and perhaps unexplainable. And that's why she lingers in the reader's mind. She's not a character, but a question given form. What did Morraine really see in the Turin Grill during her testing? Morraine's testing to become Aes Sedai in New Spring is one of the most haunting sequences in the series. Inside the arches of the Turin Grill, she experiences a future where she fails, where the world burns, Rand dies, and the Shadow wins. And yet the details are shrouded in ambiguity. What exactly did she see that shook her so profoundly? The White Tower testing arches are known to reveal possible futures or emotional truths. But what makes Morraine's test so chilling is that it seems not only personal, it's prophetic. She exits the arches changed, more resolute, more distant. She begins the lifelong obsession with finding the Dragon Reborn, not just because of prophecy, but because of something she saw in that Turin Grill. Something worse than death, something only she knows. Did she see a timeline where she chose love over duty and doomed the world? Did she see Rand fall, not to the Shadow, but to indifference? The test never says, but it becomes the fuel for her sacrifice and secrecy. Her silence on what she saw may be her final sacrifice, holding the burden of a future no one else can face. It leaves us wondering, how much of Morraine's cold determination was born in that moment? And what did it cost her to walk back out? What really happens to heroes of the Horn between turnings? We see them ride at the last battle. We see them summoned by Mat and vanish when their purpose is complete. But what is the true nature of the heroes of the Horn? They exist in Tel Aranarhad, the world of dreams, but not in the same way as dreamers or wolves. They are not quite alive, not quite dead. They are waiting. The series tells us that the heroes are spun out when the wheel needs them. But what does that mean? Are they reincarnated into new lives with new names and memories? Or do they take form as themselves again, reborn into bodies already shaped by their legendary pasts? Birgit's unique case, being ripped into the real world, suggests the boundary is fragile. Her loss of connection to Tel Aranarhad hints at deeper metaphysics, that being a hero isn't just about fame or heroism. It's about a thread woven with purpose. The books give us glimpses, but no firm answers. Are the heroes aware of their past lives when reborn? Do they live entire lives and then return to Tel Aranarhad? Or do they wait, timeless, until called again? This mystery elevates them beyond normal reincarnation. They become myth given flesh. And perhaps that's the point. The wheel remembers what the world forgets, and some lives are too powerful to fade completely. Who was Ela working for, truly? Ela Arroyan, is one of the most divisive and fascinating characters in the series. A powerful Red, a schemer, and ultimately, the Merlin seed who fractures the tower in her quest for control. But one question never fully gets answered. How much of her fall was her own? And how much was manipulated? Unlike other villains, Ela isn't a dark friend. She's not corrupted by the shadow. But her actions benefit the shadow again and again. Her obsession with controlling Rand divides the Aes Sedai, weakens their unity, and allows the Forsaken to operate with impunity. She removes powerful allies from key positions and alienates potential bridges to Rand. Was this simply hubris, or was someone whispering in her ear? We never see direct evidence that Ela was under compulsion or direct influence, but we do know that Black Aja were in her circles, and that Missana infiltrated the tower disguised as a high-ranking Aes Sedai. Was Ela's reign a coincidence, or a carefully orchestrated disaster? The books never say outright, and that silence is chilling. Because if Ela wasn't corrupted, she was just that dangerous on her own. What is the true nature of the Finns, and what do they want? The Elfin and Elfin, commonly referred to as the Finns, are among the most bizarre and unsettling entities in the Wheel of Time. They are not shadow spawn, not gods, not quite human, and yet they interact with the human world in terrifyingly tangible ways. They grant answers, steal memories, exchange gifts for prices not fully understood. But the question lingers, who are they really? And what do they want? They inhabit a different dimension, accessible through specific Turingriel, and they operate by rules so alien they seem more like Lovecraftian forces than denizens of Randland. The Elfin offer answers to questions in exchange for presents. The Elfin bargains laced with peril. They feed on emotion or experiences, or perhaps the resonance of a life fully lived. What they do with that stolen essence is never revealed. Matt's time with the Finns leaves him literally hanging between life and death. He is changed by them, not just physically, with the Ashandarian memories, but fundamentally. Rand and Morraine also emerge altered, but the true motives of the Finns remain obscured. Do they serve the pattern? Are they outside it? Do they feed on lives for survival or for entertainment? No one knows. And maybe that's the point. The Finns are ancient, alien, and utterly uninterested in morality. They are a reminder that in a universe governed by the pattern, there are still corners so strange, so primal, that even the Aes Sedai fear to tread there. What happened to Demandred before A Memory of Light? When Demandred finally appears on the battlefield in A Memory of Light, readers were shocked. Not just by his sudden dominance, but by the complete absence of his presence in the books up to that point. And though we learn he had been ruling an entire nation, Shara, in secret, we're left wondering, what else happened during that absence? And why didn't we see more? Robert Jordan hinted that Demandred's arc was deliberately held back. Brandon Sanderson, when finishing the series, chose not to explore Shara in detail, respecting Jordan's wishes. But that leaves us with gaps. How did Demandred rise to power in a closed, mysterious nation like Shara? How did he earn the loyalty of the Sharans and organize a global-scale military campaign in secret? We see his incredible skill in war. We see his burning hatred for Lews Therin, but we don't get his mind, his strategy, his journey. That mystery is particularly frustrating because Demandred is one of the few Forsaken who could have carried an entire subplot. Instead, we're left with hints, battlefield brilliance, and a death that feels like the final punctuation to a story we never fully got to read. Some mysteries are hidden for thematic weight. Others, like this one, feel like half-told stories. And in that absence, Demandred becomes something paradoxical. One of the most important characters we never truly knew. What did Verin really know, and when? Verin Mathwin is one of the most masterfully crafted characters in the entire series. A quiet brown sister, seemingly obsessed with minutiae, who turns out to be a spy in the Black Aja. Her reveal is jaw-dropping. She has spent decades recording names, gathering evidence, risking everything. But the full extent of her knowledge is never truly revealed. She gives Egwene a letter, a final, posthumous gift. But what else did she leave behind? What other webs did she weave in her meticulous research? We know Varen walked the line between truth and secrecy with the precision of a dancer. She joined the Black Aja not to serve the Shadow, but to destroy it. A suicidal move that required complete dedication and terrifying control of the Three Oaths. But what did she really know about the pattern? About prophecy? About the end? She hints more than once that she has insights others don't. Her connection to Morraine, her careful timing, even the way she uses her own death to deliver the truth, all suggest she saw further than most. Jordan left us with a character who understood the long game better than anyone. But what Varen chose not to say, maybe even more powerful than what she did. Her death isn't just heroic, it's mysterious, and we're still left wondering just how deep her influence ran. What would happen if the wheel truly broke? The Dark One's goal, repeated through every book, is not to conquer the world, but to break the wheel, to undo the pattern, to stop the eternal cycle of death and rebirth. But what would that actually look like? The books never give us a clear answer. We see glimpses, Rand's vision of a world remade, where people have no fate, where choice dominates all. It's a seductive image, free from predestination, but it's also hollow, cold, lacking connection, legacy, and meaning. The pattern may bind people, but it also gives their lives context. Without it, is anything real? What the Dark One promises is freedom, at the cost of coherence. A world without the wheel may not be a world at all, but a spiral into chaos. But because the wheel has always existed, no character can truly imagine its absence. It is the metaphysical backbone of reality, and its destruction is the unknowable horror behind the last battle. By never showing us that broken world in full, Jordan keeps the terror of it alive. The real danger isn't death or even destruction, it's the loss of meaning. And that's the most haunting unanswered question of all. If the wheel breaks, does anything matter anymore? Was the creator ever meant to speak again? The first book, The Eye of the World, ends with a moment unlike any other. Rand hears a voice in his head, proclaiming, "It is not here. I will take no part. Only the chosen one can do what must be done." Many believe this is the voice of the creator. It's the only time in the entire series the creator is directly heard. But after that, silence. Unlike the Dark One, who tempts, whispers, corrupts, and intrudes, the creator is passive, absent. The philosophical structure of the series suggests the creator made the wheel and then stepped back, never to interfere again. But that one line opens a tantalizing possibility. Was the creator watching? Listening? Might the creator have spoken again if the stakes were high enough? Jordan never answers. He likely never intended to. The silence of the creator is part of the moral design of the Wheel of Time. Humans are meant to choose their own path. The pattern doesn't remove free will, it protects it. And the creator's absence becomes a metaphor, not that we are abandoned, but that we are trusted. Still, readers return to that moment, wondering, was that a singular divine whisper, or did Rand, in his madness and power, imagine the words he most needed to hear? Final thoughts. The Wheel of Time doesn't give us every answer, and that's what makes it timeless. Some mysteries are meant to endure. Some truths are too large, too sacred, or too terrible to speak aloud. These unanswered questions are not flaws. They are invitations to wonder, to revisit, to reread, and to rethink everything we thought we understood. Robert Jordan built a world that feels lived and not because it wraps everything up, but because it doesn't. Just like the pattern itself, it weaves around gaps, shapes itself around absences, and in those spaces, the story breathes. The answers may never come, and maybe that's the answer.